Well, this might be my only chance to get out of the house today. Next couple of days, the temperature is going to drop even more than it has been. I think the low on Monday is like -2, something like that. And I'm supposed to be starting a new job on Monday, but in the last couple of days, I was supposed to get an email of hiring paperwork to fill out at home with instructions where to go, who to talk to. Monday. I was supposed to get instructions for Monday, and as of right now, no paperwork, no email. And yes, I've checked the junk and the spam and all of that, and I've received emails from them before, so not sure what to think of it. Oh, I think that's some... What is that, deer hair? I don't know if you can see that. Maybe they're getting scrappy. Who knows? So, I guess right now things are kind of up in the air, but I have a feeling I will hear from them this weekend, because they've already put a lot of money and effort into getting this new branch of their company started, and when I have to go take a drug test, and those things are not cheap, I think that shows some initiative on their part, that they're not joking around. So who knows, we will see. Well, a new interview came out with Bill Gates, and he's talking about he's trying to say we have 30 years to solve climate change and make a difference. And for what I've seen with his recent purchases, his obvious agreement with programs like the Great Reset, I have to say that he's definitely on board. He pretty much knows what's coming with these new programs that they're doing, and he's getting ready to be a part of it. So I was not surprised to see that interview. It's just very obvious at this point as to who the players are, the people who are trying to I believe that's quail. I believe they're just setting the stage now, and it's like they wrote a play, and now they just have to set everything up, and then they can start acting everything out. And unfortunately, the world is the stage. We are in the auditorium whether we like it or not. We can watch it, we can participate, and then when all of a sudden the stage is expanded into the audience and they want us to be part of the story, that's the part where things are going to get messy. Some people are not going to want to play along, others are just going to willingly go ahead. And I think it's not going to be a good time. Yeah, I got my gloves on and everything, and holy crap, it's so cold. So I saw that. You know, I saw that Guy McPherson is still online. And actually, he's got more of an internet presence now than he did when I first started following him. So, my only criticism of Guy McPherson is that when he's talking and he's on these videos, he has this look on his face like he's just going through the motions. Like in the back of his mind, he's going, I know where this goes. I know where this leads. There's no hope. This is pointless. I'll just try to get my message out there to help other people along the way. Of course, like, I make that criticism, but like, what do you expect from a guy who honestly, I think he honestly thinks that humans will be extinct in the next 15 years. And it's like, how do you make a joyous statement about that? I mean, like, hey, you know, have fun while you can, because but he's on there, and basically his whole channel, I wouldn't even say the whole channel, a good portion of his channel right now is just dedicated to, here's a new study, it lines up with everything I've been saying for the last 10 years. Here's another study. So I think it's funny when I hear people like Bill Gates say we have another 30 years, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, well, dude, like, where'd you hide your bunker? And how are you giving yourself an additional couple decades? So, oh, man, is there even anything else going on? Well, on the bright side, so Gina Carano had been canceled, fired, whatever, by Disney, because they're a bunch of whiny bitches. And let's face it, I mean, if you've seen a Disney movie, they're just about whiny bitches. So, it's like, shouldn't be surprised that's how they're going to act. While, you know, it's funny, they said that her tweet comparing what's happening now to things happening prior to the Holocaust, she wasn't even talking about the Holocaust, she was just saying the things that led up to the Holocaust. You know, that was offensive. And if we look back at Disney's past, well, Walt Disney was an anti-Semite. He hated Jews. Yeah. You know, they've got their little library of racist material that they've made in the past. And I'd like to point out that they thanked the local government where the Uyghur Muslims are currently being held in concentration camps for helping make their shitty movie Mulan. So, for one, Disney, don't be complaining about the Holocaust when you're supporting one. And two, I will never forgive you for putting a dildo on the castle on the cover of The Little Mermaid. Yeah. Speaking of Disney being a bunch of racist bigots, where is the princess for white trash? Where is that? Because we've got uppity, you know, hoity-toity bitches. We've got black princesses. We have Hawaiian princesses. You know, there's an awful lot of diversity, except for I have seen no girl that rises up from a trailer park, you know, meets her man, decides they're going to take on the world together, and, you know, make it in the American dream. Basically, you need to have a movie about Roseanne Arnold, because nothing scares America more than white trash with money, and that is her story. So, Where is it, Disney? Why y'all so racist? Come on. So, my understanding, I haven't watched it yet, seen clips. Trump's defense team actually came up with a good argument about how the whole impeachment trial is a bunch of BS, because what they're claiming he did before the storming of the Capitol, the Democrats have been doing for months on end before that. And not only did they instigate it, encourage it, but when people were arrested, and it was in the video, Kamala Harris, our current vice president, was raising money to have these people who committed felonies against the federal government, against private citizens, private business owners, local and state governments who committed these felonies, raise money to bail them out so that they could do it again, which many of them did it again. But no, Trump is the criminal, and, Orange Man bad. And when you encourage people to peacefully and patriotically let the government hear your voice as to, what you think is going on, they don't listen. And then you have shit happening like the Capitol building, which I don't think a lot of the people who went into that building or who charged ahead were actual Trump supporters. We already have the one guy who was arrested working with Antifa and BLM before any of that happened. He gets arrested, and they're like, oh, look at this guy. And they have him on video encouraging people, telling them what to do in order to get through the barricade. Because he had experience. And then you've got, I don't know, the Buffalo dude, and just, I think there's a lot of mental illness going on there, for one. And I think that, when you have a group of people, and really they just have the same general idea, from my understanding, seeing interviews with reporters who were there, asking, like, why are you here? Do you support Trump? What is your main complaint with the United States at the moment? And they're all saying the same thing. It's like, they're shutting down our free speech. They don't listen to us. We vote these assholes in. They never do what they say they're going to do. It's the same complaint that people have had about politicians for the last 200 years. Hell, I'm sure it goes all the way back to Rome. Although those people weren't voted in, they were appointed. But still. So when you get a group of people who are bonded basically by a very, very, very similar idea, you're going to get like a whole bunch of different people hanging out in the same place. And I think that's what happened. So, was it right? I mean, and I question that, because when you've had your government, your police, from up high on down, not prosecuting rioters, arsonists, when you have David Dorn murdered inside of a business during a riot where police were told to stand down. And again, like, none of these people are prosecuted. The prosecuting attorneys just were like, no, let them go. We don't have proof. When you've seen that for the last 6-7 months, sorry, you created a new norm. They're not expecting to be arrested because, hey, those people have been doing it for a long time. While I'm stuck at home, my business is closed, I don't have a check coming in, and they're fine. They just get released. So why wouldn't I storm the Capitol building? When you make it so that laws do not apply to everyone, people are going to assume they don't apply to them too. So if the Democrats want to blame anybody for having the Capitol building stormed, they need to just look in the mirror, because they should have expected that shit after what they have put the rest of the American public through for the last year. And I'd like to point out it's ironic in a way, because what other people have been dealing with for the last year, they finally got a taste of it and they wanted something done about it. Isn't that freaking weird? So you have that dumbass AOC saying that Ted Cruz almost got her killed, trying to blame people for what happened with the Capitol riots, when she's encouraging people to go out and destroy their fucking towns over Black Lives Matter. And then when something very similar happens where she works, she throws a hissy fit and not only starts crying and screaming about how she thought she was going to die that day. Well, guess what, AOC? Welcome to the rest of America. Wow, you're one of us now. You know what it's like. Oh, you had to lie about your story. Don't feel sorry for you. So backtracking, Gina Carano got probably one of the best job offers that she might ever get in her career. The Daily Wire hired her to write, direct, produce, star in her own film. She is her own boss now. She does not have to worry about what she says in a tweet, who she might piss off. Because, if there's one thing I've learned over the years about those Daily Wire guys, they all share some views, some opinions, but they are all very different. You have Ben Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, very, very Orthodox, doesn't do a darn thing on the Sabbath, except for read books. Wow, I guess I really wish we could get more people who are like in politics or pop culture or culture in general to sit down and read a freaking book. And then you got Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan. They're all different. Now granted, like when they do their shows, they all seem to hit on like certain key points and they kind of crack the same jokes. It is a news outlet. They're going to be somewhat organized, but they do say whatever it is that they want to say. And a lot of times their opinions don't match on things. So she tweets out something about how, be kind to your neighbor, because this is how shit started way back in the 1930s in a certain place in Europe. I don't think she's going to have to worry about keeping her job or not. And what a bunch of bitches Disney is. People on Twitter are mad. Okay, Twitter is less than 10% of the population of the United States. And how many of those Twitter people actually have a Disney Plus account? You're catering to the wrong people, Disney. Stop trying to appease the masses, all because you're on some social media app. People on here are mad at me. Do what Jay and Silent Bob did. Buy a bunch of plane tickets. We know you can afford it. Go to their house and beat up the 12-year-olds that are making you feel so bad about yourself. I don't get it. people who are in charge these days are just a bunch of whiny pussies. And it just irritates the shit out of me. Like, how the hell did you get to where you're at today? Oh, yeah, you went down the same path as somebody else who already made that job for you. Now you're just filling in the shoes without any of the trials or tribulations that it took to get there to begin with. But you get all the same money and rewards, if not more. And really, the only places Disney has to go from here, with where they're at in the world, is down. And I know that some people are going to say, well, you know, they own so much, they have so much power and so much money. They had to start an online app to compete with other people. And they were late to the game. And I'm pretty sure Disney World or Disneyland, I don't know, there's a few of those places. Yeah, have fun going to that with social distancing. I'm sure they're doing it. Heaven forbid those local governments don't have their money coming in from tourists. But yeah, Disney's probably hurting right now. And by hurting, I mean making hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's not the billions that they were making before. So I can take a little bit of comfort in that. Anyways, that's all I got today. Go away now. Keep on typing.